Yeah.
Um, so in your understanding, like what actually causes that lack of desire in women? What is the root cause of that you see most often?
All right. There's a few things, but let's back off to
Okay.
explain what is the difference between libido, desire, and arousal, because
Oh, yes, please.
this is important. Okay.
Yes.
So libido is your physical hormones, your body's ability to make the necessary sex hormones in order to actually want sex. Okay. And
Hmm.
what super aggravates me about this whole it's my hormones, it must be my hormones, is that women always think that if they don't want sex, then it must be their hormones, because Western medical system has done a really great job of making us think that there's always something wrong with our bodies. So,
Absolutely. Not
yeah,
true.
right. Not true.
Not
99% of the time, this has nothing to do about why you don't want sex. Okay. So it's not about libido most of the time. Now, if you have hormonal issues, if get absolutely work them out, get them fixed, whatever. But that's not probably not going to fix much. Okay. Because
true.
there's desire and then there's arousal. So desire is the emotional and intimate connection needed in order, the environmental stimulus needed to turn you on, right? And arousal is the direct path that can happen. And that is different for different people.
Mm.
Okay. So, desire, so if this is the emotional connection and this is like the feeling of joy and pleasure and like I have access to that, like if you don't have access to that, then you're not going to feel desire, right? So what shuts down desire is negative conditioning, trauma, which the negative conditioning can consist of guilt and shame around sex from maybe religion or your parents, your family of origin, all of that. And then obviously sexual trauma. And there's not a single woman on this planet that doesn't have one of these two. So we have to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to
So
work
sad.
with the negative conditioning and the trauma to release the unconscious patterns that we have hardwired in our brains that instead of being a turn on, instead of something that should be a turn on, but maybe you don't feel turned on by it, right? That when you unwire, and well, I should say rewire these
Hmm.
unconscious patterns, it gives you more access to pleasure. So I always explain it on a 3-part brain system. Okay. You have your cortical thinking mind, your limbic system, and your unconscious or primal brain. All sexuality and relationship vulnerability, intimacy issues are patterned in your unconscious primal brain. This is why you can go to therapy for years and years and years and talk all you want about it, but it ain't gonna change anything. Because until you go deep enough to the somatic sensations in your body, holding on to uh, whatever you picked up from the past to keep you loved, to keep you safe, to keep you belonging, until we go to that level, they're never going to really release desire, lust, passion, ecstasy. You don't have access to these states until you work through the blocks and through them. And the blocks are lying in your body, in your unconscious primal brain, and they present as sensations in your body. So when we're working with your sexuality and getting your desire back, it's about going into those unconscious blocks and really feeling, wow, what's actually here right now? What do I feel in my body? Like a lot of women never think about what they're actually feeling in their body, sensation wise, right now. So
Hmm. It's just an
the
endless to-do list, right? Da, 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 da. Behind on this, need to do that. Blah, 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 blah. It's like,
yeah,
where does the body
exactly.
fit in that? Nowhere. The body doesn't have anything. Check in on what my body's feeling. Isn't even on the to-do list,
Right.
for most women.
Usually not, for sure. So yes, lack of desire is caused from negative conditioning and trauma, to make it succinct and sweet to answer your question.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, oh my gosh. I love how you broke that down. It's like libido, the hormones, desire, like the environment, and then arousal is like the actual actioning in that environment, you
Mhm.
know?
Oh, and we
Wow.
could go on about arousal too if you wanted.
Let let's hear a little bit more about that for sure. This sounds like there's something juicy down that rabbit hole we're gonna explore.
There's so much more for you over in the Joygasmic Life membership. Become a bulletproof mom with us. Learn the tips and tricks and skills you need to recover from your postpartum mental health journey and learn the tools of Joygasmic alchemy so you can have the kind of birth you've been dreaming of.